Need your pressure washing supplies fast? PPW Express brings you top brands, always in stock, and a mobile app that lets you order in seconds. Enjoy same-day shipping on every order placed before 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. Download the PPW Express app today.
Stand out with custom gear from DAB Marketing. No design fees, no minimum orders. Just premium sublimated shirts built for the service industry. Look professional, look sharp. Get your gear from DAB Marketing.
Good evening. Happy Thursday, everybody. This is Anthony here with Trudy, the host with the most, the queen of clean. She's here tonight, and we're going to dig into some PWNA stuff. We're here with Ryan. We're going to discuss different topics. Like first thing we'll probably cover is the event in February, which we want to ask everybody, if you're not going to get down there and go to this event, it's going to be educational. It's going to benefit you. And if you ain't joined the PWNA, we encourage you to go over and join with them. You have if you get on the website and you go to join, you click the buttons. They're also send you a code. I think you get $100 off. I think it still may be going on. And but we're just going to jump in here real quick and introduce Ryan. Let him tell us a little bit about himself, and then we're going to cover the event and the structures that PWNA is built on.
So, hey, everybody, I'm Ryan. I'm with the PWNA here representing the organization in the industry. So we got this big event coming up where we are co-hosting with the IWCA, the International Window Cleaning Association. It is being hosted at the Doubletree SeaWorld in Orlando, February 18th through the 20th. And we have quite a few days of education and training that's going to be going on. We're also going to have a nice trade show floor, outdoor demos, a nice cornhole tournament, some networking and social events. And it's going to be an awesome time.
Cornhole tournaments.
Yeah, this is the first time Panhandle's going to have a booth at the PWNA. I've been to every. I've been to a lot of them. I can't say every because I don't know how far back they go because I was washing a lot, so I couldn't get out. But I've been to quite a few of the PWNA events, but this is going to be the first that we are going to have a booth or a couple of them.
Quite a few.
About 6 of them, it looked like.
Yeah, that's a pretty big spot. If you could pull up the trade show floor just to kind of show, like, everyone kind of see, like, how big this is going to be with, all these booths and everything. I mean, we get a lot of vendors out there that, promote and, promote their products. And, you get to ask a lot of questions and talk with a lot of these people that are representing these companies and really get into, the real technical side of things when it comes down to, what's coming out and the new stuff. Like last year at convention, we had the really cool VI Power P40. It's a new P40 diaphragm pump that hooks up to like that 56 volt, electric pump. So, people can run those without gas. Networking at some of these events kind of crazy because, I've met quite a few people at last year's event. And some people are telling me, they service in communities where they're not allowed to use any gas pressure washers. There's noise ordinances where they can't go above a certain decibel. So the thought of cranking over a little, Comet P40 is like not in that neighborhood. And it's just like, oh, they got to clean everything with 12 volts. And, talking some houses that are worth like $2.5 million and can't use a pressure washer. Like, that's kind of wild.
We actually have a local guy that's in a high-end beach community. He washes them, and we're actually getting prices for him and building his out for him because he can't have any noise.
That's wild.
Yeah,
He's gonna get the Comet battery powered.
We're working on it. I mean, I think so. That's my go. That's what I would go to. But.
Well, I mean, they had it. They had it at the Panhandle event.
Yeah.
And it was pretty impressive as far as it would shoot and everything, but you're going to have the battery life. I mean, if you're going to go out and run all day, run 8-10 hours a day, you're going to have about 4 or 5 batteries. So
yep. That adds up really quick. But if you're in that kind of market where you need that type of equipment, you're
charging accordingly to it. So
was it like, I think can't know if it was last year or the year before, but they brought an electric like 4-gallon per minute unit out at one of the shows that they were exhibiting and showing, and I was just like it's a cool concept, but it's like some of that stuff is just like I was like, I can't imagine doing like large scale commercial concrete electric unit. Like if I got to go clean a park bench or a phone booth, cool, but like if it's something that's like really big, it's just like the power and the manufacturing and the stuff that's needed to build this type of equipment, like with the carb store stuff that was going on in California. It's kind of scary. We got a couple guys that are out in California that might have to adapt in the next couple of years if that stuff still winds up holding through and having an impact on the region, because it is what it is.
Yeah, they was saying California. There's a lot of things we can't ship to California. They've already said no gas small engines, but they fought it. It was like, oh, we need time to produce some equipment so we can do the jobs. But still, it's crazy, being in Florida, where we pretty much can do whatever. I didn't say that, but we can. And, it's crazy to think that you can't go out there and pull out your big old diesel pressure washer and start washing stuff. It's weird for me to think I'm going to have to charge my battery at night so I can go work tomorrow. It's just crazy. But times are changing. We have to adapt, and the industry is adapting. They were at the Panhandle event. I seen him at the last, I think they were at the last PWNA event, and to see how the technology is evolving so quickly is just mind blowing. When I started years and years ago, 5, because I'm not that old, but years ago.
Ancient.
Yeah, I know. When I started years ago, to think to see what we have now, I wouldn't have even fathomed it back then. My soft wash was a pump up and a garden hose. That's how we soft wash back then. Then we went to hey.
You older than me.
I swear, I'm going to see you soon. You're going to pay for it.
Oh,
so anyway, so the technology and just talking to these manufacturers and just learning what's coming up next, what's new, what's their vision is just amazing. And with the PWNA also, they do have the outside demonstrations and technical training, and which is what I love, because I don't want to buy something if I can't drive it and I can't touch it and feel it and smell it. I want that car smell. I don't want a old sweaty man that's been in there for a week and slept in there. I don't want to buy that, So I want to be able to touch it, feel it, and see it, and just see what it's about before I spend my money on it. So that's another great thing of doing this.
I can't wait to see a battery powered surface cleaner. We got the soft wash.
Yeah, you didn't see the remote control one? There was a remote control one. I seen it.
It was like a Roomba.
Yeah, it was like a Roomba, and you controlled it with your.
Yeah, but the thing was about this big.
I know. Shane's like, man, I could sit in my truck in the AC
and be there for 3 days.
I know. Well,
But I'm talking about like a ride on a 46-inch or 50-inch. They got the lawnmowers that run off batteries, so maybe I need to get with Shane and we need to be the first to build one.
Well, not now, because you just told everybody. Oh my goodness. So Ryan, we met, I think, was it in Kemah?
No, I think Arizona.
Arizona. Was that before Kemah?
Glendale.
Yeah, I think that was before, because I've known you a long time. That was probably 2020?
No, that was like 23, I think.
Okay, 23. So it was after Kemah. Okay.
Yeah.
But Ryan, I met you on the Clean Humor podcast.
I'm introducing you to folks there.
Trudy, so she's not a good host. She didn't introduce us, but
you always do that. Oh my gosh, I swear. This kid.
But anyway, It's good to have you on here, and let's talk about the PWNA. There's 4 basic structures that y'all's built the PWNA around, and one of them, the first one I see here, is education. Can you tell us a little bit about the education part? I'm just going to run down the list of them, and when you get talking about education, we'll move on to networking opportunities, and then we'll just keep moving on.
So when it comes to education, we have a lot of certification courses. So we have a house wash certification, we have a roof clean certification, we got flat work certification. We have a lot of different certification courses for the different things and different niches that people are getting into and people are cleaning. But also with that, we have the OSHA 1910 training, we have DOT training, we have EPA training for the Clean Water Act. So there's a lot of things that have kind of been very foundational with the services that we perform to kind of teach people, like, hey, there's laws and regulations out there that exist. There are guidelines for cleaning certain surfaces. There's things you really got to look out for before you just watch a video on how to start a pressure washer and go out and try and sell a big giant like a concrete job where the water drains into natural waterways or anything along those lines. So there's a lot of things out there that people kind of need to be informed about, that they should know about, that they should kind of know before they're like, hey, if you're going out and working for yourself, it's good to know these things. If you're going gung-ho and you're going to be like, hey, I'm going to have 10 guys doing this for me, like, there is a lot of responsibility that comes in with that to make sure that guys are, safe and that they're compliant, and that, everybody should kind of know what they're doing. So when it comes down to, training and education, where, some newer guys getting into the industry that don't know any better, or someone that's been doing it for a few years, just trying to learn things, what could I be doing wrong, or how do I not burn down a house, or, how do I not, cause damage or anything like that. It's like, okay, by the time that you want to start bringing people on and you're like, hey, I'm going to hire a guy, I'm going to hire 2 guys, I want to have 3 guys working for me. How are you training those guys?
Right.
If you're going to stay on the truck and train them, and you're going to take the, 3 to 6 months it's going to take to get a guy, competent, then, listen, that's great. If you can outsource your training and get guys compliant so that they know the technical end of things and, the appropriate way of doing things, well, you're going to have a pretty good advantage over, people that aren't doing that. So right. With the education that we have one of the guys on the board, Mike Dingler. I got to give this guy a lot of credit. He is the chair of education right now, and he's putting together a lot of more content for our learning management system that we have that is currently now mobile, which, you can do it on desktop or you can do it on your phone if you're an enterprise, if you're an enterprise member. But, I'm going to pull up my dashboard here real quick and just go over some of the newer stuff that we have that's kind of popping up, because we've got some holiday, looks like we recently added some. Give me a second here. Where did that go? I just lost it. He's been working on doing some business trainings for us, which has been pretty sweet. So he's got a couple classes on like know your numbers, key performance indicators, and business marketing, which is kind of getting integral with this. We have health and safe practices that are integral with the training that we have. We have specialty trainings in here for like aerial lift safe operation, wood restoration. There's a lot of different things that are in here depending on, hey, what career path, or like what's your business model, what's your niche, what are you really going after, what do you need your guys to know, what is it that you want to learn. So it's pretty sweet, because it's that library is just getting bigger for our members, and we're able to provide so much more value to people that are getting involved and joining the organization, so that everyone's kind of in the know.
Right.
I'm actually part of the education platform, the property protection. So
Nice.
so I'm speaking there, and I'm, as you know, I failed public speaking in college, and I have the information here. I know what I'm talking about, but am I a professional educator? No, I'm not, but I've got a lot of information that nobody else has that I've worked many years to get. And when I was asked to come and speak and be part of the property protection, I was honored. And, for me, just getting that information out there that to help contractors maybe save anywhere from $16,000 to $70,000 that because they damaged a home that their insurance won't cover. I'm honored to be part of that and help educate and help others grow. So, I thank the PWNA once again for asking me to come back this year and speak. So I'm honored, and I will do my best to put the information I have out there, and hopefully somebody will. Actually, I really just want to scare the crap out of them so they test every house. But that's just me.
If they're not scared by now, Trudy, they're not going to get scared.
Well, there's some people that
we still see it every day. People just go out there and spray and go and hope on a prayer that their color don't change. And people think it's just the blues, but it's not just the blues. It's every color. If you go to a house and you go to wash a house, you go to do the bid on the house, bidding the job. Well, first thing you need to do, you need to test your paint. You need to test the surface that you're doing, because last thing you want to do, that if the house wash costs, if you got $1,200 to do it, it's going to cost you 4 times that much to get the house painted. So what's a little time, get behind a bush, spray a little stuff on there and see what it does. Do 2 or 3 different places around the house where you can't see it. That way, if you have to, you can just get the paint code, go get some paint and touch it up for the homeowners.
I don't even have to do my class now. I'm kidding.
And but it's just that simple, guys. I mean, instead of just going out here and just blowing and going. I mean,
yeah, I was going to say that. I'm like, the days of blow and go and spray and play and splash and dash are over. There's so much stuff going on, and there's so many more different substrates. There's so many more different ingredients to stuff they're making, like copper gutters. There's could be next to each other, 2 houses. I had a guy that's got copper gutters on his house. He washes them. He went to go wash a house with copper gutters. He patinaed the whole thing. And he calls me like, what do I do? And I'm like, did you test? No, because I washed my house. Different manufacturer, different ingredients. It's different. So, with the education, with the property protection, they go over so much. They go over way more than you can even fathom that could go wrong with a property.
The thing that's kind of been, a really big thing that guys don't consider or even think about is like neutralizing.
Oh, yeah.
That's been a really big thing for, years. But like, it's like, I'll run into some guys. I'm like, hey, like, you got neutralizer? They're like, what's that? I'm like, uh-oh. Yeah. I'm like, you're doing a roof? They're like, yeah. I'm like, where's it going? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're not rinsing it? They're like, no. I'm like, okay.
So I know y'all come to Panhandle and y'all done some education stuff and certifications back for us. Y'all going to be offering that in Orlando this year in February also? Some specific training?
Oh, yeah. So let me pull up the schedule. Looks like we are going to be doing. Oh no, that's not on there. We're going to have a ton of certification classes. So we're going to have our roof clean. We're going to have our house wash. We're going to have our core fundamental ones that we're doing. So, the definitive list. We have it. I have it buried in my email somewhere. We just got a base overview on our website for what those are. So. I mean, with all that stuff, I mean, last year, the house wash class, I mean, Trudy, you were there, you were a part of that. Yeah. How many contractors were in this class that were probably their first year of business?
There was a lot. And people were just, when I started speaking, they were just blown away. Like they've never heard some of these things that we were speaking about. They were just like, wait, what happens? That could happen. And you know, the more, you know, I've been in the industry a long time, but you know, I speak to people every day, and I learn more stuff. So with the neutralizing, you know, if you clean a driveway and use bleach and then you seal that driveway, the concrete, it can fail because you don't neutralize that driveway. I learned that today and I didn't know that. And I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. We have a lot of pavers here. We don't have a lot of concrete driveways. And if we do, people usually think about sealing them. But, you know, I mean, if you want the oil stains to stay out, but I didn't know. I'm just like, oh, that makes sense. But I didn't think to neutralize concrete. You know, I mean, I didn't think about it. So I was just like, oh, good. That's something else I learned today. So, you know, people ask me, I know now. But yeah, it's just different things like that you don't know, you don't think about. And it's great. So, I mean, so yeah, thank you for that. And you guys going to be doing not just the education on like cleaning stuff. Are you going to be doing some on marketing, networking? I mean, how did that go?
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of speakers at this event that are gonna be talking about a lot of these different things, which is going to be sweet. So we're gonna have sales and marketing classes, and also some business classes as well. Yeah, so people can kind of get a real glimpse into like, hey, like this is work. This is not what YouTube thinks it is. This is not all you know. Oh, you're making $1 million tomorrow because you clean a house. You know, there's a lot of effort that goes into this. You know, a lot of newer guys getting in the industry. You know, when I'm at these events and I meet some of these guys that are just starting their first year and they're like asking advice, and like biggest things I always say is like, dude, it's like, got to know what you're doing, get certified, and then get out there and get your feet wet. I was like, because every property you go to is going to be different. You're going to run into so many different circumstances on, you know, a daily basis. You know, it's not even funny. So like if you're going out and you're an owner operator and, you know, you're doing, I don't know, 15 jobs a week, you know, every property is different. You're going to have to treat it as such. You're going to have to inspect the electrical, make sure that water's not really getting anywhere, do your due diligence to cover stuff, tape stuff off, neutralize what needs to be neutralized. Spend your time on the job. Don't, you know, can you get a job done in 40 minutes? Sure. Is it going to be good? Absolutely not.
Yeah, exactly.
The next thing on here is networking opportunities. And I'm sitting here just trying to read over the paragraph here. And it says networking with professionals in your field allows you to solve problems quickly and being able to profit. You will meet people in the field at this convention and through educational classes and opportunities, which is true. I mean, that's at our event too. And another thing down here is like you get contact information, PWNA members to ask and guidance, and that could be a difference too. That would be a way to be a member there is for this right here. We hear it all the time on Facebook. Somebody gets on Facebook, so I need help quoting this job, blah, 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 blah. Or I'm new, how do y'all quote this job? And the first thing out of somebody's mouth is, if you don't know how to quote the job, you shouldn't be doing the job. That just really gets on me because I've been that guy before. Yep. I've been that guy that had to ask them questions. And for me, it's worth what I paid to join. If I have a question, I can just, you know, pull up a directory online, have all these contractors in here. No, probably knowing that I ain't gonna get my head bit off like I would on Facebook. And
I'm fine. I'm getting my coat on. I put the wrong arm in first. I'm good.
So, you know, that's a good thing, but we'll let you touch on that networking there a little bit. And,
yeah, I mean, you know, you kind of got to think of, you know, the board that we have is very diverse. It's broad. I mean, we've got like 15, 18 people that serve on the board of directors, all come from different backgrounds. You know, there's people on here that, you know, are owner operators. There's other people that have, you know, bought and sold businesses. There's people that are retired on here that have all been in different phases of the business. So like even for me being like in this type of network and close to, you know, this many people that have done and been through these many different things, it's like whenever my business gets to a point where like I'm going to need help, I know who to go to and ask questions. Even with everyone that's still out in the field, like doing all the work, and you come to a show and you come to an event. So like if there's a new guy that's like, oh, well, I want to be the residential guy that does gutters, windows, and I want to do the works, and I want to do full package deals, and I want to do this. And, you know, he's working for himself. You know, if he networks with enough people at the event, he's going to come across a guy that's 10 years ahead of him. That's like, dude, this is what you want to do. This is what you want to avoid. This is what you got to look out for. Like, you know, don't go out there just, you know, hiring guys all willy-nilly and, you know, just paying cash under the table. And don't, you know, you got to be careful with this type of stuff because, you know, in some areas across the country have some really big homes that are like, hey, you need a 60-foot ladder to clean a gutter. But, you know, when you want to sell a job and you want to be the guy that gets off the truck, but you're going to send someone out to do a job you've never done before, you know, it's kind of like, it's just a dangerous situation. It's like, hey, what type of training does this guy have? Well, I told him how to like put a brick under the foot. Like, no, you don't want to do that. You know, you got guys on a time crunch and this and that. So, you know, I kind of feel like there's like a lack of realism in the industry in the sense that, you know, everyone thinks that like a lot of things can just happen overnight and you can just train someone in 2 days to get off the truck and you could just, you know, say, here's the keys to this truck with $50,000 of equipment on the back. Go perform this job as fast as me. Like,
but you know about networking for me is what I tell people is don't be afraid to ask. You got these new guys and they're on Facebook. They see people that's out there, people that's, you know, on the social media all over the place, and they're afraid to approach him. Don't be afraid. What's the worst thing you can say is, yeah, no, I'm good. You know, most people at these events, I don't think I've ever heard somebody say no or walk away.
Yeah, no.
They are just so open to sharing. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's fun when it comes down to just like, you know, promoting like good ethics, great standards in the industry. I mean, PWNA is a great you know, organization to be a part of, and you know, to seek out, you know, training, networking, guidance, and all that stuff. You know, I implore anybody, hey, if you're new to the industry or, you know, you're getting your feet wet, you're kind of hitting a roadblock or something, you want to know how to take like that next step. Like, you know, there's a lot of work that goes into everything. There's a lot of moving parts. You know, hey, it might be easy to clean, to go pressure wash, like, I don't know, like your parents' shed at the back of their house or something, but that's completely different when you got 30 houses on your schedule for the week and the people are expecting the job to be done. So,
and done right.
Done right.
Yeah.
Done right. Done efficiently. Done quick. There's one thing about being fast and there's another thing about being efficient, but you know, you just want to be fast and splash and dash. Great. I mean, that's, you know, that's not my game. I don't like playing that. You know, I'd rather spend, you know, 2 to 3 hours on a house and get it done right so that, you know, we're not having problems.
Yep.
So are you guys going to have the EPA there? Did I hear that? Or OSHA? You have OSHA, right?
They're actually going to be at the event, like getting a booth?
No, talking.
I mean, so I don't know if they are exactly going to be there, but I can tell you, you know, Mike Draper is going to be there.
Oh, he is.
That's Mr. Safety.
Enough said. That's all you got to say.
That's Mr. Safety.
That's it. Enough said. You don't have to say nothing else. So I had a local guy out washing, and let me tell you this story. I've never heard this story before. And he washed the house, and he burnt the neighbor's bushes, and that neighbor called the EPA on this washer.
Yep.
And I've never heard that before in my life. I'm just sitting here going, why would you even think, why wouldn't you call the contractor and say, you know, ask the neighbor who washed your house, they need to come fix my bushes. But they called the EPA out. I'm like, I've never heard that in my life. That was the craziest thing I've heard of.
I wonder how that ended up.
I don't know.
You need to find out on that one.
All right, I'll do some snooping. I'm not a snooper. I don't know this stuff. People tell me stuff that stays. I don't tell you the, well, I mean, it didn't stay because I just told you, but it was for education. You know, be careful of your surroundings when you do. You're not only needing to protect the house you're washing and the plant the house you're washing,
Neighbor's house as well.
So let me tell you this story. Shane and I, we had 3 houses in a row. And they had a beautiful courtyard with these beautiful trees. I don't know what they're called, but they have like little fern leaves. They're very delicate, dainty leaves. And it was 120 degrees in Florida in August, and the wind was blowing. And we pre-wet all around everybody's houses, washing. The next day, the lady called and said, all the trees in the courtyard are brown. And we're like, what? We burned all the leaves of the trees in the courtyard. Like 4 big trees in front of these 3 houses. And we're just like, oh, that traveled far. And it was 1% downstreaming. It was crazy. And
really?
Lesson learned.
Yeah, I'm very weary about working with anything above like 5%. You know, even if I'm doing a roof and it's bad, I'm just like, hit it, let it dwell. I mean, there are some surfactants that are out there. I don't need to name any that do an amazing job with, you know, roof cleaning, hitting stuff that's heavily soiled, you know, letting it dwell, letting it work. And, you know, you see it all the time in the groups. Guys are like, oh, surfactant's dumb. Okay. I use Dawn. Okay. Like why not use a product that's, you know, made for that intended purpose that actually does what it's supposed to do? You know, there's a surfactant out there that I use that, you know, for like my regular house washes, you know, I'm using way less chlorine on houses during, you know, the warmer months, I guess you could say, because I'm, you know, using a certain surfactant that helps enhance it so that, you know, not having problems with bushes. I'm not having problems with plants. I don't, you know, I've been in business for myself for about 8 years, and I've worked for a few other companies before going to business for myself. And, you know, when you got to work with some hot sauce and it's windy, it's not fun. When you got to work with hot sauce and it's cold outside, like, yeah, you got to throw it and let it dwell. But, you know, if that stuff sits on a bush, plant, grass, or something way too long, it's like you might not see it until next week, and you're going to wind up having a problem. You know, let's say I'm about 90% residential. I'm your house wash guy. That's me. That's my forte. It's what I like doing. Right now, I've got 2 younger kids at home. I like working, you know, banker's hours, I guess you can say. Got a newborn daughter. So like this year was kind of like a lighter year for me. I was like, do I really push it or do I take it easy? I'm like, you know, daughter's only going to be young once. Do I really need to work on Saturday, or do I want to watch Land Before Time for breakfast?
Yeah.
You know, you kind of got to like find, you know, some other guys have always said this about just like finding your butter zone and like where you're at and like, you know, what you're doing, what you're comfortable doing. So like years ago, I was doing deck staining. Years ago, I was trying to do gutter cleaning. Years ago, I was like, oh, let me go buy a water fed pole and, you know, start doing that. It got to a point for me where I was like, I don't want to do any add-on services anymore. I was like, you know, maybe when I hire a few guys that are working underneath me and I need to, you know, fill out the revenue to help cover payroll and, you know, we can go attack jobs as a team, you know, that's great. But, you know, when it's just me, I'm like, man, I just want the house wash, the deck and the patio, and that's it.
So with these events, I hear all the time, oh, I had a job, I had to work. I couldn't go to get education. I couldn't go to get training. And I was like, you know, a lot of the guys that came to the Panhandle event, you know, they listened to the speakers, they listened and learned from the trainers. I had one guy that landed a huge job right after, and he was new, and he said, I wouldn't have been able to do this if I didn't have the confidence after coming to a training event. And, you know, these events are out so far, like you can schedule those few days off. I know, you know, it's time to make money. Everybody needs to pay their bills, but to take these few days off to get educated and trained and figure out how to grow your business, or how to get off the truck and hire people, or how to make yourself more efficient with better equipment or newer equipment, that to me is worth taking those few days off. I mean, I hear that all the time. I don't know if you've heard that, but I hear that. I'm sorry, I didn't make, I had to work. And I'm like, this is scheduled. This is your business. This is your future. You need to take the time to educate. It's like, you know, the doctors, you have a doctor, he's not going to skim through and not go to classes and not take tests because he wants to go work. You know, I mean, we're not brain surgeons by no means, but there's a lot out there that we need to learn so we don't damage property, so we can grow our business, so we can get off the truck. There's a lot we have to learn as business owners to move forward.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more things out there that people need to know than it is just, you know, knowing how to wash one side of a house, and one side of a house times 4 means success. Yeah. No. There's so many more moving parts to this. So, you know, people, you know, you get educated, you got to learn, you got to start taking things a little more, you know, serious. And, you know, when you network and talk with the right people that are in that, you know, line of work that you want to get into and do, you know, that's great. You know, I talk with guys that, you know, that all they do is commercial, where they're just like, dude, I'm doing commercial and industrial. I'm like, great. You must love those nighttime hours. You must love working overnight. You must love that. And listen, like, different niches for different things. So, you know, we had Carlos on, you know, talking with him where he's doing his niche marketing training at the event. So, you know, to give him a little, you know, plug, you know, he touched base on a lot of that stuff about like, hey, like, you know, got to balance your life. You got to balance, you know, your work-life balance. You got to find out what it is you like doing. Because, you know, he kind of called it where he's just like, you know, everyone wants to be like one call does it all with exterior cleaning instead of being like, you know, the professional in like one thing and being so good at that one thing that you can charge a little more money, that you can use that and capitalize and like grow on that. So, you know, it's a great starting point for, you know, anybody wanting to get into this industry, whether, you know, you're leaving a career behind, whether you're a kid that's starting out new in the industry, or, you know, you just want to try, you know, something completely new for a living. I mean, learning what we have to offer is definitely pretty important.
Yeah.
This next part that I'm going to ask about and touch on, I feel it's probably one of the most overlooked areas in our industry, and that's compliance with a few organizations that could really cause you a whole lot of problem. And the first one's OSHA. Let's cover OSHA for a little bit. A lot of people really don't know a lot about them. They could really put a damper on you if you're out doing stuff you shouldn't be doing. Like you said, go back to earlier, he said something about when was out washing something other, the way he's washing or something other, and it fell right into a line of OSHA violation, which should be when you see the pictures of the guys cleaning canopy on an A-frame ladder and they're standing up on the top of it with a turbo nozzle trying to knock dirt off the canopy. I mean, that's number one red flag right there. You should be. But let's touch on OSHA and then we'll move on to the next in a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you know, OSHA is very important in the sense that, like, you know, you got to protect your workers. You know, if you're a bigger company, you've got, you know, if you got one employee and you're sending them up to clean gutters on a roof and they're running all over the roof and they're not tied off with a harness system, there's no fall protection, there's nothing really set up for them. Like, it's technically, you know, that's a pretty big OSHA violation, you know, like working with broken ladders and defunct equipment that, you know, could put someone at risk. Like, it's not good. Like, there's a lot of things out there that are just so risky in this that can, you know, lead to, you know, a horrific accident or, you know, somebody potentially, you know,
I see one on here. Accident. One thing on here is something that I think that we need to have more teaching on, and that's chemical safety.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's overlooked.
It is.
People mix different chemicals up, which is bad. You could find yourself waking up in the hospital or waking up in heaven, one of the two, whichever one gets you first, because you could get yourself killed doing stupid stuff of mixing different chemicals together. So,
you got to be mindful of what you're carrying on your truck, how you're carrying it, where you're carrying it, what toolbox it's in. Is it in the same toolbox as another solution that they shouldn't be nowhere near each other?
Right.
You got to watch out for that. For the compliance trainings that we have, I'll read off the list. So we have the OSHA 1910 training. We got DOT training. We got respiratory training. We got environmental EPA compliance training. We do have chemical safety training. We have a drone safety training class, first aid safety training, ladder safety training, rooftop safety training, and solar safety training.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's big. Like I said, we're getting more and more classes. I think 2 or 3 years ago, we didn't have the drone safety there, and we didn't have the solar safety. But to give someone else a plug here, also at the event, we're going to be having Steve Williams is going to be teaching solar safety and cleaning with the International Solar Cleaners Association. I just wrote an article for him, had a nice little interview with him, nice little Q&A that's posted on the PWNA news section. If I post something into the chat, are you guys able to share it with everybody?
Yeah, everybody
can go up on the wall.
Up there.
Cool.
While you're doing that, another thing that people don't think about safety, before you leave in the morning and before you leave your job site, walk around your trailer. You forget to tie your ladder on there, and that flies off your trailer or your skid, and it goes through the windshield of somebody's car. You can kill them. You don't secure your 5-gallon bucket, and it goes flying off your skid or your trailer, and it's hazmat. That could cause a lot of damage. So there's a lot, just simple little things. Just walk around. Just pull on your bungee cords or whatever you're tying up your ladders with, and make sure it's safe, not only for you but for everybody around you, because one little mistake, you could lose your business.
Yeah.
Hey Ryan, if you got a comment section on your screen, you might want to put them links in the comment section instead of the chat.
Oh, my bad. How many people we got watching this right now?
Oh, yeah, you got in the private chat the other one. That's just for us.
Unless it's just for us.
That mustache. Look at that. He's a stylish guy. Look at that. Is he a Floridian?
No, he's from the UK.
Oh, he's from my neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
No. The United Kingdom.
So am I.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's originally from there.
I am from there. I'm English.
But EPA is next on the list. Down here, you mentioned them, and there's the Clean Water Act. I mean, there's another one that can give you some headaches.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the Clean Water Act, I mean, that's pretty serious. There are certain states out there that are like, if you're surface cleaning a driveway and it's going into the street and neighbors see, they call, complain, some of these fines just sound terrifying to me. Kind of fortunate where I'm like, man, like I'm doing more residential, more house washes where I don't really have to worry about any, stuff really going out in the street. But like, with some of these bigger commercial jobs that I see guys doing and, larger concrete work, I mean, some areas are just, more strict than others. So it's like, you really got to know, where you're working and what you're doing, and make sure that, if you're going to be selling these types of services, that you're set up correctly. I don't know if you have any experience working with like those Scirocco units with the vacuums and the surface cleaner that suck up the water, the shop vac, and clean and nose filters, and how fun and exciting they are to work with. But like, it's time consuming. It's like, yeah, even if you have big equipment, you could do a lot of concrete real quick. But when you got to start, cleaning out those filters and doing stuff, like, you got to bid that into the job. If you're a guy that has that type of equipment and that type of setup, you got to be charging top dollar for some of that stuff. I had a shopping center reached out to me a few years ago, and it was like the whole storefront, sidewalks, no big deal. And I gave them a price which was kind of reasonable for like 2 nights worth of work. They didn't like it. And they're like, oh, that price is so high. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, what do you usually pay? And they're like, oh, we were paying the last guy $300. I'm like, oh, wow. Why aren't you using him? And they're like, oh, he's not in business anymore. It's like, I wonder why.
Yeah. I know we had to do a driveway last week or week before. And he was in a neighborhood, and he comes off the driveway, runs down the hill. It skips over the next neighbor's drive, but the one on the bottom end of the cul-de-sac, it kind of gets down in their driveway and running down through their yard. I'm going around the neighborhood, and I start on the upper end, knocking on doors, in and out door hangers and stuff, and introduced myself to people. And I got down there, and I got noticed about water was going. I did not want to go knock on their house.
Yeah.
Just kind of skipped over that one, but you got to be careful of that stuff. I mean, they was outside, they seen everything, but they're used to it, because that's probably where all the water goes when it rains anyways, is right in their driveway.
Yeah.
Another one's DOT. I'm sure we probably got trucks and trailers running all over the road. That's not DOT compliance.
Does everybody know how much chlorine you can actually transport and not be fined, or not need a special permit or placards or any of that?
I've not been questioned that one yet. I've not been stopped yet. My employees have been stopped in the truck before, and they ain't said nothing about it, but DOT ain't stopped them yet neither. So
yeah. But
is there a certain amount you can carry to be illegal? If you got a 100-gallon tank and you got 300-gallon water tank, 100-gallon chemical tank, you running 100 gallons water, 75 gallons of chemical, are you legal?
I think it's 120.
Is that just for the chlorine? Just for SH?
I think so. I'm going to find this exact answer. AC teaches this at our event.
He does. That's what I'm trying to think. I thought chlorine, isn't it 400 pounds? 100 gallons of chlorine?
Let's see.
I know Steve just said safety data. Yes, so safety SDS sheets also, you cannot have them digitally. So don't download them on your phone, and when you get pulled over, they have to be paper form. The officer's not going to take your phone and scroll through it. They want it in a notebook or on a piece of paper. So every chemical that you carry, it has to be on there, because if you get in an accident and your chemicals splash all over the place, the fire department and the hazmat team and everybody has to know exactly what you have on your rig. So that is very important to have all that information with you, including an SDS for chlorine. So we have them on a Panhandle website, all our chemicals. We got the SDS sheets, including the chlorine, so you can download them, print them off. But you make sure if you order a new chemical, while you order it, so you're on the Panhandle website, you order Cleanse All BC. All right. Yeah. After you pay for it and you bought it, scroll on down to the safety data sheets and print out that sheet so you have it when you get your package. You're ready to go. It's already in your truck.
Or you can tell Trudy just to send it over to you when she sends you your chemicals.
Or you can do that. Thank you for the extra work, Anthony.
I like to see you doing stuff, Trudy. You got to stay busy. You can't be idling around not doing nothing. You've been out of work for a year, so.
I'm making up for it. I'm telling you, I'm making up for it.
The last thing here on my little list, it says a clear voice for our industry, which I've read over some of this stuff the other day when I joined. I found it was pretty interesting that I ain't done talk myself into joining PWNA. One thing, I got the wrong advice from the wrong person, I guess. And then it just popped up on my Facebook page the other day. And I said, well, I'm going. I guess I need to be part of this group. You need to get in the cool kid club.
I know it wasn't me because I've been a member for a while.
No, it wasn't you.
They got fined for cock on there? Wow. That's crazy. I didn't even know. I didn't think about that. That is, wow. I wouldn't even thought about cock.
Cops.
Caulk, like caulking.
Oh.
Talking about roofing. He had to have the SDS for caulk. They got fined for it, for having it on there without having the SDS sheets for caulk.
Oh, geez.
AULK, Anthony. It's clean humor. Be nice.
I'm trying.
You caught up yet? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So.
This never been to a PWNA event. I'm losing my voice for some reason. This is going to be my first one in February, and I'm looking forward to it. Of course, I probably won't get to do a whole lot of getting education or walking around. I think I'm going to pretty much be busy the whole time.
I don't know where.
I'm down there, but, you know, it's all fun.
It is.
If I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it. So,
and actually, Derek, I think you need to have SDS for any chemicals because, like I said, if you get in an accident and they mix, they need to know what you are carrying. So I think that's more for, that must be more for the DOT. I know DOT, EPA, they have different rules, they have different regulations, but they work together for the same purpose. So,
well, I'm sure if EPA come out on job site, they're gonna want to know what you're putting down. So you're gonna have to run the show to them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what amount you have. You need to make sure you've got what you're carrying because if anything mixes and causes a mustard gas, they need to know how to neutralize that.
Yeah.
So anything that has laws, you need to stay within those laws and keep it legal.
Yeah, Barry, talk about yourself, everybody.
Oh,
yeah, stay legal.
No matter what industry. Okay, there we go. Yeah, you do have to keep it.
What
right.
about plants?
Oh my gosh, you have to bring that up. Oh my goodness, neutralize plants. Not neutralize them, like kill them, like clean them and get all the stuff off there. So anyway, so Ryan has the cutest little girl that I get videos of all the time, and she was just giggling and dancing to what might have been the scariest cartoon I've seen. But she was a good old time. I'm just
Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
Oh, she was dancing from Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well,
what?
There used to be a show on.
She's like
HBO back in the day that was Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the kids version.
Yeah, but she's in her high dancing, and I'm like, then he goes to the TV. I'm like, what has he got her watching? And I come back and she's like, yeah. Oh, he is the plant commander in his Jay and Silent Bob voice. Okay, I don't think I've ever watched that movie. People talk about it, and I'm like, that sounds like the stupidest movie ever, and I've never watched it. And now people keep bringing it up. Now I might have to watch it. Now I'm older. It might not be so stupid. I don't know. But anyway, so the event.
We covered a pretty good bit of stuff tonight.
We did. We've done a lot. But we are going to. What I'm excited about is, as you know, when I got invited to come speak, and I'm like, of course, you know me. I'm all about education. I put it out there all over social media. I get some kickback from people because. You know, I'm like, hey, be careful what you mix with SH. And of course, somebody's going to say, oh, well, that's wrong. I use dish soap all the time. That's good. You use dish soap. But one time you might use the wrong one that's got some sort of acid in it. And then you're choking and end up in the hospital. So, if you've used it, it works. Just be careful if you change brands. Dish soap is not SH stable, so it is going to break down your SH. Like I tell somebody, if I ran out of surfactant and I was in dire need, I would use laundry soap because that is SH stable. But once again, you're going to be doing more rinsing because it's not going to get the windows all spot free. So, it's what it is. Like Ryan, I use I use things for what they're intended for. I use dish soap for my dishes. I use laundry soap for my laundry, and I use surfactant for my house washes. But people that don't use surfactant, I bring up to them. It's like, so when you wash your white sheets and towels, do you just use bleach? And they're like, no. I'm like, why? He goes, because it doesn't clean it. I'm like, and bleach doesn't clean. SH doesn't clean a house. It's a brightener and a disinfectant, but it's not going to help with the bug debris. If you have spider webs and bug debris and fallout and dust on the windows, that surfactant is going to be cleaning that while you're removing the mildew. So,
Barry, if you're still on here, put that guy's name up that you called me the other day about that 20-year-old guy. He was out washing a house, and he had somebody with him. He had a heart attack, and so before we get off here, I just want to bring that up and
please,
and get everybody to be praying for this young man and his family. A young dude, man. I mean, I'm 55 years old, and kind of scared me, man, when Barry called me and said, "Hey, dude, you heard about what's his name up here? 20-something-year-old kid out washing houses and stuff."
24, 25. Barry reached out, and I'm like, how old? My kids are older than that. That's scary. That's scary. It's like my babies are out here. Something can happen to them.
Yep.
That's scary.
Ryan, any information or anything you need to say or encourage folks to join PWNA?
Well, how do they join? How do they sign up to go to the PWNA event in February, which I'm going to be there. Anthony's going to be there. Anthony didn't have a choice. I wrote a letter to his wife and like a doctor's note that he needed to come. Because So anyway, there's going to be some great people there, some great people teaching, some great people just walking around you can network with. And another good thing about networking is if you're new, you might be able to find your mentor, because the people come and you might not know people in your area, but you start talking and you're going to find this person that may be a town over from you, that you can work together, you can learn from each other and grow with each other.
Yeah, I mean, we have all the information is available right on the website. You can go and see, how to register for the event, and also you can see how you can become either a contractor member or an enterprise member. The enterprise member is definitely, you get so much more included with that, especially you get access to the PWNA mobile app, which is definitely, great. So,
yeah. And there's a lot. So if you had a question, if you're like new and you just joined the PWNA, you guys have actual recorded classes that they can watch.
Yeah.
On the
website. We got a ton of videos on there that you can watch. And it's a bunch of like extra bonus content. Mm-hmm. I would say, there's a lot on there.
So the PWNA, I've been a member for years. I don't even know how many years. I'm not going to mention it because, I keep aging myself, and I'm the same age as Anthony. So
no, you're not. You're older than me.
We are 55 together.
You're still older than me.
Okay, we're not going to argue. So, because Barry's back in. Oh no, that was an old one. It just popped up. So I was hoping Barry would.
The young man's name is Hunter Morris.
Hunter Morris.
Yep. So y'all guys keep him in your prayers when you go to pray and all that stuff, and his family, and hope him a speedy recovery. And there was another guy that from down around my way, I can't think of his name, but he had an accident too, and which he said he got his guys can cover him while he's off work, which is good. But I also reached out and told him that if he needed anything, he can give me a call, set my number and everything. His name's Brandon Sheffield. Don't really know what happened there. I ain't reached out and talked to him, but guys, be careful out here when you're out here working, walking on these roofs and stuff. You're spraying water and soap on them. They get slick. Even walking through somebody's yard, I mean, you can fall in a hole and break your leg, break your ankle, or whatever. So just be careful. Use the proper equipment when you're washing, when you're on roofs. I know we're all gone ho and we think we're invincible. We just jump up there and we just take off. But, shit happens. And you don't want that to happen to you.
And it might not be something that happens immediately. It could be something you're doing that could affect you over time.
Yeah. Or you've done it 100 times and just that one time and, over the years.
Those chemicals you're inhaling, you might be okay, but then, you might turn 50 and then your lungs are crystallized and there's no going back from that. So, Shane's dad passed away. He owned an auto body shop and he was inhaling all that. And he passed away few years ago. So it's not something that might affect you now, the instant. I mean, it could, but it's something that you could take with you. And there's a lot of bad chemicals out there. We mess with a lot of stuff, and a lot of chemicals and a lot of dangerous things. We're on roofs, we're on ladders, we're hanging over balconies. I know I've been on a 3rd-story balcony leaning over so I can hit some eaves that I can't reach, and it's dangerous, and we have to protect ourselves. And there he is. Hey, Barry. So just make sure you're aware of your surroundings. Check your equipment. Make sure everything's safe. All your equipment is secured and safe, and make sure, guys, get some education, get some training, learn how to protect yourself from these chemicals, chemical safety, roof safety. All that's going to be there. Plan of property protection is going to be there. There's going to be a lot of safety, a lot of education. And Ryan, are these, when they get here, are all these trainings free?
It depends on your level of membership. So if you are a contractor member and you just kind of got that little entry level thing, there's going to be some cost to some of the classes, but if you're enterprise, most of the certification classes we have are included.
Yeah, before we leave, Trudy, I just sent that donation thing. If we can, Alana, throw that up. If anybody wants to help him out, they can do it, and it'll stay on here as long as this thing runs over the next few weeks or whatever. We'll give her a few minutes to get her so she can get it up there. But
it's up there. She's got it up there. So we've got it up there for you. It's under Panhandle Power Water Supply. There's a GoFundMe to help him and his family, especially this time of year. There's no good time to lose somebody, but right at the holidays is like a double smack, and it's sad.
Well, Ryan, you want to take us out of here?
Cool. Yeah, I'm falling asleep over here. Thanks everybody. Thanks for joining. If you got some free time, come out in February. Come check out the event and see what we're all about.
Well, thank you, ProClean Plus. It's first year in business, and we appreciate you. And somebody said, "Where's Ryan? Where's Ryan? He's right there." I don't know. I guess somebody can't find you. Right? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so
that's February the 18th through the 20th, right?
Yeah. Yep,
so we want everybody to be
February
in Florida. February the 18th through the 20th for the PWNA event. You don't want to miss.
We will see you in Orlando. And if you have any, you can even Google it. Just PWNA event 2026. You'll get the information there. I mean, you can find anything anywhere anymore, which is scary. I mean, it's out there. Everything's out there nowadays. But we appreciate you, Ryan, for coming on. And somebody just said you're a hunk. All right.
Love it.
Yeah. So you're a hunk. Couldn't see you, but now you're a hunk. But anyway, thank you for coming out, and we will see you in February. We'll be there with bells on. Well, I don't know about bells, but
We'll be there.
we'll be there. I'm not sure if bells. I don't know why I said that.
Put the
I'm not
jingle
wearing
bells
bells.
up.
Jingle bells are going to be over. But anyways, thank you for being here, and hopefully we'll bring some more people on for the PWNA. I'm losing my voice too. In the next couple of weeks, so we can get more education, more information about this show. And I've got a list of who's going to be speaking, so I'll reach out to them and see if they want to come on and talk about what they're going to be doing at this event. But I'm excited because I love the social. There's usually some great band or comedian or something that's there. There's always something fun to do, and I'm excited. So I can't wait to see you in a few months.
You mean you do stand up too, Trudy?
Did you see my comedy act at the Panhandle event? It was great.
Well,
I thought
Giveaways was a comedy show, but we won't go there. Anyway, everybody, it was good. Everybody tuning in. We appreciate everybody. Get over to Panhandle Power Wash Supply. Get all your pressure washing needs. Shout out to Alana over at Dab Marketing for keeping us looking good in all of our swag and stuff. Hats, shirts, pants, socks, shoes, you name it, they can do it. Get over and check them out. Everybody be safe, and we'll see y'all next week.
See you next week, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.